Now, air is pumped into a spherical balloon at a constant rate of 0.12 cubic meters per second. Okay? What is the rate of change of the surface area of the radius when the radius of the balloon is 0.4 meters? Now, first of all, we must know that it's a spherical balloon first, like that. Correct? It's a sphere. Now, we know that the surface area of a sphere is 4 pi r squared, right? Correct? And what about the volume of a sphere? 4/3 pi r cubed. This one is not given in the formula list. You have to know. The sphere, the cone, everything you have to know. Everybody clear with what I'm saying? Okay, so can you see that? The question is actually quite vague down here. Okay, but don't worry, we must make sense of the question. Alright, so let's take a look at the question now. Air is pumped into a spherical balloon at a constant rate of 0.12 cubic meters per second. That means I know that dV dt is 0.12 like that, right? How come it's positive? Because it's pumped into. You understand? It's not leaking out. That's why it's 0.12. You understand? Okay, now, what did the question ask for? Now, of course, in the working, you don't actually have to write the units first, just write like that first. If not, you become very confused. Understand? Final answer, then we write the units. Okay? Now, then they say, what is the rate of change of the surface area when the radius of the balloon is 0.4 meters? That means I want to find the A dt, you know. When what? R is what? 0.4. Agree? Now, can you see that I have one whole... hurry up. Can you see that I have one whole lot of things that I am unsure of? Do you know what I'm talking about here? Yes or no? My final one is to find the A dt when R is 0.4. You understand what I'm talking about here? Yes or no, class? Yes, huh? Okay. First of all, let me ask you something. How do we find if A is 4 pi r squared? What is the A dr? And that means I differentiate A with respect to R, right? So what will it be? If I differentiate this, 8 pi what? 8 pi r, right? Everybody okay here first? Everybody okay here first? Yeah? Okay? Now, the A dr is this. Okay? Volume is 4/3 pi r cubed. What is dV dr? 4 pi r squared. Everybody okay? I'm trying to make sense for you first. Everybody okay? Everybody okay? Alright. Now, you know that dV dt must be dV dr times what? dr dt, right? Do you agree? By chain rule, can you see? This one holds. We know this one because the question says. Agree? Then we know this one. So, what is our aim here? What is our aim here? To find when R is what? 0.4, right? Everybody clear with what I'm saying here? Okay, now you look at the solution down there. They tell you this. I'm going to show you how you make the solution. Come. Area, can you see the differentiate become 8 pi r? Can you see it's what I've gotten on the board? And when they differentiate, the dV dr is 4 pi r squared, and they know that dV dt is 0.12. Okay, so that means this will be 0.12 equals to 4 pi r squared times dr dt, right? Yes or no? So, how to find dr dt? will be 0.12 divided by 4 pi r squared. Do you all agree with me? Yes or no? Yes or no? But is this our final goal? No, our final goal is to find this one. Right? So let's look at dA dt. Now, if I want to use dA dt, it must be dA dr times what? Dr dt. Now, we do not know dA dt. dA dr we know, right? 8 pi r times. Now, can you see down here, I already found dr dt from this part. So, I will sub in 0.12 over 4 pi r squared. Can you see this? Can you see it? Okay, can? Now, then I'm going to simplify. This one is 2 got 1 time back. Correct? Finally, can I just clean off this part here? I'll just clean off this part. Finally, my dA dt is a very neat 0.24 over r. Am I right? You see that? Okay, see? Then now they say when r is what? 0.4. Correct? When r is 0.4, I will have dA dt will be 0.24 over 4. 8. Rubbish. 0.24 over 0.4. So what would that be? 0.1. 0.6. But don't forget it is area. Just now the radius is in meters. So this is meter square per second, right? You must follow the units. So it's meter square per second. Are we okay here? Are we okay here? Now, can you see that it's a very confusing thing, right? At first, okay? But we must know, ultimately, it always boils down to this kind. Understand? Chain rule. Sometimes we find this one, sometimes we find this one. Understand? Huh? Sometimes it's 2 in 1. Then you have to juggle up. Understand? What I usually do is that I write in pencil first, then I sort of sort out the thoughts first, then I do. You understand? If not, you'll do all over the place, one whole circle, you don't know what you're doing. Everybody clear with what I'm saying? So are you okay with example 8? Can? Can follow up? Okay. Now we turn to example 9. This one has got similar triangles, that's why it's difficult. Okay. I'm going to draw it on the board first. You read through the question first. It's not that simple. Okay, let's look at example 9. Volumetric flow. Water from a tank in the shape of an inverted cone flows what? Flows out. Okay? At a constant rate of 6 cm³ per minute. The height of the cone is 24 cm and the base radius is 12 cm. How fast is the water level decreasing when the water is 8 cm deep? This is atrocious, alright, isn't it? Okay, now let's look at a cone first. They tell you the height is what? 24 cm and the radius is 12 cm, right? Now, do you agree that I get a right angle triangle here? Correct? Now, what if I have something like that? The water will go up slowly, right? But this one is the water will come out slowly. That means it will go downwards, right? But the water inside is still in this shape, correct? Now I let this be R, let this be, not this one, this one BH. Okay? Remember for similar triangles or similar figures, you take the length over the corresponding length, it must be the same ratio. Okay, now first of all, what is the volume of the cone first? 1/3 pi r squared h, right? Agree? Plus 1/3 pi r squared h. Okay. Now I want you to look at this fella. Do you agree that r over 12 must be H over 24. Correct? No? Yeah? R over 12 is H over 24. Okay. Now, the question say that how fast is the water level decreasing when the water is 8 cm deep? That means it's 8 cm for the height, right? Agree, class? Yes or no? Okay. That means you must know, you must sub in H. That means the formula cannot have R, must be in terms of H. If not, there are too many variables. You understand what I'm talking about? Okay, then how do we do from here? I'll look up here. This one means 24R is 12H, right? What is R? 12H over 24. That means it's half H, right? R is actually half H. Can you see? Now, sometimes it's in terms of H, sometimes it's in terms of R. You got to look at the question. You understand? If they want it in terms of R, then you got to sub H in terms of R. Understand? Then you do dV dR, not dV dH. Everybody clear? Okay, so let me sub in. Half H square H, right? Agree? Because now my R is half H, ma. Everybody okay now? Okay, now I'm going to simplify this. This is 1 over, not 1 over 6, 1 over 1. 12, okay, because square, right? 1 over 12 pi H cubed, right? Did I make a mistake? No, it's correct, right? 1 over 12 pi H cubed. Everybody okay? Alright, okay? Now, what do you think I'm trying to do here? I'm going to find dV d1, dH. That means I differentiate V with respect to H. So, okay, I bring down, become 3 over 12 pi H square, right? Which means this is actually a 1/4 pi H square. Everybody okay so far? Yeah? Okay, good. Now, can you tell me water is flowing out at what rate? 6 cm cube per minute, right? That means my dV dt is -6, right? Because it is flowing out. Is everyone clear with what I'm talking about? Okay, now we have this situation. I always write the main thing. Everybody okay? Yes or no? I am supposed to find this, correct? This is supposed to be the whole thing that I'm talking about. Okay? Now, what is dV dt? I sub in -6, right? What is this? 1/4 pi H squared. Then I don't know dH dt, right? Correct. So what is dH dt? It will be -6. I divide by this, right? Now I want to change it so that it's easier for me to manipulate. Do you agree this is the same as pi H squared over 4? Pi H squared over 4. So when I bring over divide, it becomes times 4 over pi H squared, right? Got it? Divide means you flip over, right? Okay, so this is a -24 over pi H squared, right? dH dt. Agree, class? Okay, what did the question say? How fast is the water level decreasing when the water is 8 cm deep? 8 cm deep means what? When H is what? 8. Correct. When H is 8. So, when H is 8, I will have dH dt minus 24 over pi 8 squared. Okay, let's work this out in terms of pi. This is -24 over 64 pi, right? Okay, if I divide by 8, I will have -3 over 8 pi, right? Agree? Now, can someone tell me how come my dH dt is negative? What did the question say? Tell me what the question said. It's decreasing, right? They say how fast is the water level decreasing? You already know when it's negative, it's decreasing already, right? So when you answer, you cannot have the negative sign, agree or not? Because it asks for decreasing. Do Do you understand? Yes or no? So the rate of decrease will be just like that. cm per minute, right? Agree? Now, what if you want to write the negative? It will be rate of what? Yes, it is rate of change. That's the difference. Do you get what I'm talking about here? When you say rate of change, it will be negative because it's decreasing. But when you say rate of decrease, it must be positive because it will say decreasing. Everybody clear with what I'm talking about? Now, do you agree that the important thing is to establish that chain rule down there? And sometimes it's very difficult to identify which one. Agree, class? Can? Now, if they say when the radius is what, then you cannot put it in terms of h. You must put it in terms of r already. So it will be dv dr. After that you sub, then you find dr dt. You understand? So this one you have to know which in terms of what. Because sometimes it's very confusing for the students. Everybody clear? Everybody clear? Okay, so far okay? 8 and 9? Okay, I'm going on to 10. 10 looks terrible, but actually it's fine one. Okay, actually it's fine. I'll explain properly, okay? Don't speak more. It's very sad. I rush all the way from the hospital, come back, and after that, I come to class to sleep. It's very sad, okay? Alright. Okay, stop. Alright, let's look at question example 10. I don't want people to panic when you see this type of question. If an exam don't know how to do, forget it first. Understand? Go to those that you can do first. Okay, don't say the school teach me perseverance. I must persevere. You don't know means don't know, sorry. You understand? No need to persevere one. Go and get as much as you can. That's called flexibility. Okay, now let's take a look at example 10. I'm going to explain slowly because this is a lot of concept inside, okay? Like, what did they say? Approaching vehicles. Actually, they're just telling you some bombastic words, that's all, okay? A police car. They talk until very nice, actually it's just Pythagoras theorem, okay? A police car and a taxi traveling in opposite directions are approaching each other as shown in the diagram. Can you see it now? People will come already, right? The two vehicles are at a vertical distance of 36 meters apart. Let x be the horizontal distance and s be the diagonal distance between the police car and the taxi. Understand? Now I'm going to draw the diagram first. This is the police car. This is the taxi. You know this is 36 meter, the diagonal one is s meter, this is x meter, agree? This is what they are telling you. But they move in opposite direction. One move this way, one move this way. People like that. Understand? But parallel. Clear? Okay? Now, if s is decreasing at a rate of 40 meters per second, now, can you see that as the police move closer and closer, this s will decrease. Do you agree that the shortest distance is the perpendicular distance? This is what we learned in Sec 3 time. Okay? So, decreasing at the rate of 40 meters per second, when s is 164, find the rate in meters per second at which x is decreasing. Now, x is this distance. So, if they approach each other, this one must decrease. Cannot be the approach and increase and die already. It's no common sense. Everybody clear with what I'm saying? Okay? Alright, now, let me use Pythagoras theorem first. Don't panic, all people look here. S squared must be x squared plus 36, right? By Pythagoras theorem. Are you okay? Now, so S is what? Square root of x squared plus 36. Hey, 笑了来. Very good. To buy our mistake. Can? Can ah? Now how come I did not take the negative root again? S is a distance. It cannot be negative. So you don't in the exam confuse yourself, go and put plus minus, then you don't know how to differentiate. Everybody clear what I'm saying? Okay, if I'm putting it in this manner, right? That means what I'm trying to find is I'm trying to find dx, ds dx. Agree? Now I'm going to write this up. What is 36 squared? You tell me first.
1296.
1296. Okay. 1296. Then power half, right? Oh, now ds dx will be half x squared plus 1296 negative half times what? 2x, right? You must differentiate the inside, right? So if I simplify this, I will get what? X over square root x squared plus 1296. Is everybody okay here? Now what is the question asking for? They want to find dx dt, correct? Am I right? They want to find dx dt, right? Because they say x is decreasing, ma. Okay, now look up. ds dt, you know this one, die must be dx dt. If not, we cannot work. So what should be this middle one? ds dx, now this one. Can you see what I'm talking about here? Can you see I established this one already? I'm supposed to find this guy here. Everybody okay? Now, what is ds dt? Look at the question. If s is decreasing at the rate of 40 meters per second, so s is decreasing. So this one will be what? Negative 40, right? Yes or no? Equals to ds dx. Okay, ds dx. This is my ds dx, right? But the question says when x is what? When x is what? Well, no, they didn't say x. They said when s is 164, correct? Yes or no? But we want what? We want x. Is there any way to find x? Can you see? Can you see Pythagoras theorem here? Okay, so 164 squared must be x squared plus 36 squared. Agree, class? So x squared will be 164 squared minus 36 squared. X will be this, right? Key of calculator, what's this? What's the answer? It's an exact answer. What's the answer? No answer. 160? 160, right? Correct. 160. Now, if x is 160, that means sometimes when they give you the s, right, you got to do some manipulation in order to get the x. You understand? So I put 160 here, right? Can you see? This might be s dx, ma. I put 160 here, right? So will be equals to 160 over square root 160 squared plus 1296 times dx dt, right? Okay, class? Now, what do you think is my next step? I want to find out what is dx dt, right? It will be negative 40 divided by this, correct? Okay, class? Okay, all of you key in calculator. I don't want you to look at the textbook answer. Key now, all of you key. It should be an exact answer. Negative what? Do you get a negative 41? Those who key in the calculator, do you get a negative 41? Okay, does it tally with our question? Let's take a look. at which x is decreasing, right? So can you see x is decreasing, correct? So x is decreasing, rate of decrease will be 41 meter per second. Are you all okay? Are you all okay? Okay, so what is the catch in this question? I'll look up. First of all, we must use Pythagoras theorem to get your ds dx. Then that's not good enough. They give you s equals to 164. So you got to use the same Pythagoras to find x. If not, there's no way you can get it. You understand? Then you plug it in to get the answer. Now, the important thing is that you must establish this particular part. Can you see what I'm talking about here? Yes or no, class? Okay, but it's not that simple. The two boys are sleeping. Wake them up. Just tap the table. Uncle, 起来啊. Okay? Can understand? Okay, now I'm going to give my instructions for HBL tomorrow. Tomorrow there's no need to log into Google Meet. I have already uploaded my answers to 13.4 all onto the SLS video. I cut properly already. Okay, but some of it, because I'm teaching in last year's 403, I will give them time to practice. You can fast forward. If you don't understand, you can pause. You don't have to go and stay down there and look at the whole thing. Understand? You can fast forward. When you understand, you can go on already. Do you understand what I'm talking about? There's no need to go and die sit down there and listen to me. Everybody clear with what I'm saying? Okay? Alright, so this will be the 3 last examples that I'll be going through. Now, of course, I cannot waste the half an hour. I will do as much of the questions as possible for you now. Okay? Now, I uploaded the whole of the exercise in. So if I already done it in class, you can skip that session, understand? You just fast forward and then go to the question that you are stuck with. Everybody clear? Everybody clear? Okay, what number is it on the content page now? Now I write what? For AMAX. 7, 8, 9, 10. Now write 8. Is it correct? Okay, 8. Can all of you write 8? Today's date. Exercise 13.4. Connected rates of change. Okay? Now, I have chosen a variety of questions. Okay? Okay? Now, in my video, I have solutions to everything except number 4. Because the class can do number 4. In fact, last year was a bit different because you don't have HBL or anything, everything is continuous in class. I did question 3 in class. What I often do is that you go and do 4 and 5 at home. Then the next day I continue the rest. You understand what I'm talking about? Okay? But for you it's different because of HBL, I don't want to waste time. You follow what I'm talking about? Okay? No point doing some online lesson and then you don't understand anything. Also you see me teach you, I understand. Okay? Alright, take out a full sketch. I will start now. Okay, I will start now. Okay, all of you look at question 3. I'm going to guide you step by step, okay? Given that y is equal to square root 2x plus 5, and if the rate of change of y, that means dy dt is 3 units per second. Find the rate of change of x. That means x dt is what when y is 3? Do you agree these 3 lines will summarize the question? Everybody clear? Okay, now of course, when you do like that, right, you look like, oh, I don't know what to do, correct? Now, don't panic. Have you taken down already? Can I print this off? Okay, good. So, first thing. Y is 2x plus 5 power half. I want all of you to find dy dx for me. All of you differentiate now. It should be quite fast. I want it simplified, don't just leave it there. Do you get like that? So what's the final one? Correct? 1 over square root 2x plus 5. Everybody can get? Everybody can get? Okay, good. Now, when y is 3, this is not y, right? This is x, right? Look at this. You know that y is square root 2x plus 5. When y is 3, what do I get? Right? Correct or not? Can you solve for your x? What's x? 2. Can everybody solve and get 2? Can or not? Can, huh? Okay, good. Now, I'm going to do something here. This is the one that we want to find out, right? Okay, all of you look up. I'm going to summarize really. Hi, look. dy dt will be dy dx. I told you put little bit times, right? You put dot or square, but the decimal point don't put, use it as dot. I'm still talking about. Okay? So dy dt I know is 3, right? I sub in. What's dy dx? 1 over square root 2x plus 5 times dx dt, right? Do you agree that dy dt is 3? This is my dy dx. This is my dx dt. I am supposed to find out what? Dx dt when what? When y is 3, right? Now I know when y is 3, what is my x? 2. Correct now? So you will say, when y is 3, x is 2. Correct? So 3 will be 1 over square root 2 times 2 plus 5. Do you agree this is square root of 9? What is square root of 9? 3. What is my dx dt? 9, right? Do you all agree is 9? Can see or not? Can see 9? Okay, the question says find the rate. So it's 9 units per second. You follow the question. Units per second. I just want to know, are we clear? Now, where do you think? I think nobody will have the mistake of differentiating this. Everybody will know how to differentiate this. Okay? But some people will be confused. How come y is 3, right? Then how do I do it when it's in x? So you plug into the original one and find x. Then you can do the question. Everybody clear with what I'm saying here? Yes or no? Okay. Now I give you question 4. Question 4. I give you until 12:45. You do. Then I show you. How about that? Can I don't interrupt you. 12:45 I will start 4. All of you do it now. Trisha, you can stop the video. I don't want to film silence.